Today, let's learn about the President of India. The President of India, the office of President of India is mentioned in the Part 5 of the Constitution. The Part 5 of the Constitution deals with the Union Executive. From Article 52 to 78 is included in Part 5, and it deals with Union Executive. The Union Executive consists of President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Ministers, and Attorney General. Now we are learning about President of India. President of India is the head of the Indian state. He is the first citizen of India. He acts as a symbol of unity, integrity, and solidarity of the nation. Now, what all have we learned till now? We have learned that part 5 of the Indian Constitution deals with Union Executive. It is from 52 to 78. Union Executive includes President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Ministers, and Attorney General. It is five officers are there in the Union Executive. And now let us see what all are we going to study in this class. We will be looking on the term of the office of president, the election, how the president is elected, what are the qualifications that are required for to be a president of India, what is the oath that is taken up by the president of India, how the office of president can fall vacant, what are the conditions to become the president of India, and the immunities available for the person who is the president, and finally we will be seeing how the president of India can be impeached. Now let's see the term of the term of office of president. It is 5 years. The term of office of president is 5 years. He one in the office of president can fall vacant for following reasons: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the office of president can fall vacant for 5 reasons. They are expiry of the term of the president, resignation, removal, death, or disqualification. When it is due to the expiration of the term of the president, the election should be conducted within 6 months. And if the person who is elected as president of India is eligible for re-election, yes, the president of India and a person can be re-elected as president of India for any number of times. So now we have seen the term of the president of India. Now let's go into vacancy. We have already told that it is for these 5 reasons that the president's office can fall vacant: expiration of the term, resignation, removal, death, disqualification. When the office falls vacant due to expiration of the term, then this election should be conducted within 6 months. 6 months. What happens when this office of president falls vacant? The vice president assumes or acts as the president of India. If vice president is absent, then the chief justice of India will be acting as president of India. What if the chief justice of India is not available? It will be the senior most judge of the Supreme Court who will be acting as the president of India. Now we will see that when vice president or chief justice or senior most judge of the Supreme Court acts as the president, the immunity that is available for the office of president is available to anyone who is any of these people who are acting as the president of India. Now we have seen seen the term of the office of president of India. We have seen how this can fall vacant, what happens when the office of president falls vacant. Now let's go and see how the president is elected. The president is elected by the president is not elected directly. They are elected by members of electoral college. The electoral college consists of the election of President of India is mentioned in Article 54 of the Constitution. The member, the electoral college of the electoral college of President of India consists of members of Parliament, members of State Legislative Assembly, members of Delhi, and elected members of Delhi and Pondicherry. Electing what who are the members of electoral college of President of India? They are elected members of Parliament. Parliament means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Elected members of Lok Sabha, elected members of Rajya Sabha, elected members of State Legislative Assembly, and elected members of Delhi and Puducherry. Now, we should note that the nominated members of Parliament or State Legislative Assembly or Delhi and Puducherry, Legislative Assemblies of Delhi and Puducherry is not allowed to take part in the election process of Indian President. Now, this President is elected in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. Listen carefully. Note it. The president's election is held in accordance with system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. System of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote, and the voting is by secret ballot. You should never forget that. Let's see what is the qualification that are required to become President of India. The qualifications of a President of India is mentioned in Article 58 of the Constitution. A person who is a person to be eligible for election of President of India should be citizen of India. He or she should have attained 35 years of age. He or she should have qualified for election as a member of Lok Sabha. He or she should not be holding any office of president. Now, when we talk about being about holding the office of profit, a sitting president or vice president of union or governor of state or minister of president, vice president, governor or minister of union or any state is not deemed to hold office of president. They are the persons in these positions are not considered as holding office of profit. So this is the qualifications that are required for a person to be eligible to become President of India. Now let's see what is the oath or affirmation that is done by the president. This president subscribed to the oath or affirmation, and this oath or affirmation is administered by Chief Justice of India, and in his absence it is the senior most judge of the Supreme Court that who will be administering the oath or affirmation of Indian president. It is mentioned the oath or affirmation and this Chief Justice who will be administering the oath or affirmation of the president. All these are mentioned in the Article 60 of the Indian Constitution. Now let's see what is the oath or affirmation taken by President of India. It is to faithfully execute the office to preserve, protect, and defend Constitution and law, and to devote himself to the service and well-being of people of India. Devote himself to the service and well-being of the people of India. What are the oath or affirmation undertaken by the President of India? It is to faithfully execute his office to preserve, protect, and defend Constitution and law of the country, to devote himself for the service and well-being of the people of India. It will be the oath or affirmation is administered by Chief Justice of India. In his absence, the senior most judge of the Supreme Court will be administering the oath or affirmation. What are the conditions to become President of India? He should not be member of parliament, member of both houses of parliament. He should not be member of legislative assembly, and if he or she is member of legislative assembly or member of any house of both house of parliament, he or she should vacate as soon as he enters the office of president. He should not be holding office of profit. He is allowed for he is entitled to use his official residence, that is Rashtrapati Bhavan, without the payment of any rent. He is entitled to the emoluments and allowances. One thing to be noted, that is the emoluments and allowances cannot be diminished after a person enters to the office of President of India. Now let's see what is the immunity that is available to the President of India. The President of India enjoys personal immunity. That is, he is free from the legal liabilities of his official acts. He is also he do also have he cannot there cannot be any criminal proceeding against the President of India as long as he he holds office of president. Even if the action is even if the proceedings are against his personal act, even then the criminal proceedings cannot be conducted. And if it is civil proceedings that is to be conducted against the President of India, he should be given 2 month notice before proceeding with the civil proceeding. So that is the immunities that are available to President of India. Now let's see what is how this president can be removed from the office. We have learned that the president's office can fall vacant due to expiration of the term, resignation, removal, death, and disqualification. How this how this president can be removed from his office? It is through impeachment. What are the grounds for impeachment of a president of India? It is if the president of India, the constitution provides that on the ground of violation of constitution, the president can be removed from the office of president. But is this the ground? It is given in constitution that the ground for removal of president of India is violation of constitution. But is it defined in constitution? No, the violation of constitution is not defined in the constitution. Now let's see how this. What is the process of impeachment in either house of parliament, either in Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha. 1/4 of the resolution should be passed by 2/3 majority. And when the thing to be noted is that when this resolution is presented in either house, it should be signed by 1/4 of the members and should be given 14 days advance. It is the precondition. The 14 days advance notice and 1/4 should be signed on the resolution is the precondition that is required to bring up a resolution in the either house of parliament. And then the resolution must be passed with 2/3 majority. And once this resolution is passed with this 2/3 majority, it is sent to the other house. If the resolution is passed in Lok Sabha, then it is sent to the Raj Sabha. If the resolution is passed in Raj Sabha, then it is sent to the Lok Sabha. And the other house to which this resolution is sent carries out an investigation into the investigation on the truth of the resolution. The president have the right to be present during this investigation. Once the investigation is done, then this resolution is presented in the other house who have conducted this investigation. If the investigation is passed in, if the resolution is passed in this house too, then the president is impeached from the office of President of India. Now, this impeachment of president is a quasi-judicial process. What kind of process is impeachment? Quasi-judicial process. Now, we have seen that during the electoral college of the President of India consists of elected members of Parliament, elected members of State Legislative Assembly, and elected members of Delhi and Puducherry. But in during the impeachment, the elected members of State Legislative Assembly or Legislative Assembly of Delhi or Puducherry is not allowed to vote. Not only that, the nominated members of both houses of Parliament is allowed to participate in the impeachment process of President of India. So these are what we have learned in today's class. We have learned the Union Executive, learned about President, the term of president, how the office of president falls vacant, the election process of the president, qualifications required to become a president, the oath or affirmation taken by the president, conditions to become a president of India, the immunities that are available for President of India, and how finally we have seen how the impeachment process is carried out, and how a person can be removed from the office of president. So this is it. This is the class about president. Now we will be coming up with the powers of president, ordinance making powers, veto powers, and other powers that are available that the president holds. So until then, learn well.